Hi, fourth graders, and welcome to Flex Wednesday. Today we are going to focus on reviewing for our assessment this Thursday with reviewing units of time and converting units of time. So let's get started with a review. On your whiteboards, I want you to pause the video and draw this table. Once you do that, I want you to convert. 1 hour is how many minutes? 2 hours is how many minutes? 3 hours to minutes, 5 hours to minutes, and 7 hours to minutes. When you're ready, press play. All right, welcome back. So let's go over our review. I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So when finding 2 hours, I could have added 60 plus 60, but I don't know if that would be the most efficient way. I also instead could multiply 60 times 2. When I do that, I get 120. 2 hours is 120 minutes. 3 hours, I could follow the same rule. 60 times 3. When I did that, I got 180. 5 hours, I would multiply 60 times 5. Well, I know that 6 times 5 would be 30, so 6D times 5 must be 300. Last but not least, to find for 7 hours to minutes, I did 60 times 7. I knew that 6 times 7 is 42, so 6D times 7 must be 420. When converting units of time, we can convert minutes to seconds or hours to minutes. This scale may look familiar to you. We used it earlier in the unit. The biggest thing I want you to remember when using a scale like this is that you're looking at what you are converting. 1 minute is 60 seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Looking quickly, I see a 1, and a 60, and a 60. It looks the same. But we know that 1 second is way shorter than 1 hour. And 1 minute is way longer than a second. So it's really important that when you use a conversion scale like this, you're really thinking, okay, well, am I converting minutes to seconds or hours to minutes? To read this scale, if I was asked, for example, how many seconds are in 5 minutes, I'd find my minutes to seconds scale, and I'd have to jump to 5 minutes. Underneath 5 minutes has the seconds. 5 minutes is 300 seconds. To use my hour to minutes scale, if I was asked, how many hours are in 360 minutes? I'd find my minute side, find where 360 would be, and scale up to notice it's 6 hours. Take some time to use this scale today as you're doing your work. But let's do a little bit more review. Now that we've had a chance to do hours to minutes, let's convert minutes to seconds. On your whiteboard, I want you to convert 1 minute to seconds, 5 minutes to seconds, 10 minutes to seconds, and 20 minutes to seconds. When you're ready, press play. All right, welcome back. Let's check. So I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So to find 5 minutes to seconds, I'd follow that same rule I did before from my hours to minutes by multiplying. So I'll take 60 and I'll multiply that times 5. I know that 6 times 5 is 30. So to find 6D times 5, I'm going to add that extra 0 back here at the end. I can do the same thing here with 10. 60 times 10 gives me 600. 6 times 1 gets me 6, and I have 2 zeros in my equation, which I'll add to my product. The last one here is 60 times 20. I know that 6 times 2 is 12. And I see that I have 2 zeros in my equation. So I'm going to add those 2 zeros here at the end to get 1,200 seconds. Now let's practice converting in word story problems. Zach worked on his spelling for 9 minutes last night and 8 minutes this afternoon. How many seconds did he work? All right, so let's come back together and try to solve this problem together. I know it's asking me to convert to seconds, and I have minutes, so conversions will need to happen at the end. But I also need to put some of these answers together to figure out the real answer. If he worked for 9 minutes last night and 8 minutes this afternoon, my first step would be to add 9 minutes to 8 minutes. That would get me the total amount of minutes that I know Zach's worked on his spelling. 9 plus 8 is 17, so I know that Zach worked for 17 minutes. But I'm not done here because my answer is asking for seconds. So now I need to move on to that last step. I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds, so 17 minutes will follow the same rules I've been following before. 60 times 17. That's a really big number to multiply. Even if I took the 0 away, 6 times 17 is still large. So I'm going to teach you a trick. When you come across a number that's really large and tricky to multiply, break it up into 2 smaller numbers. 60 times 17 is the same thing as 60 times 10 plus 60 times 7. 17 can be broken into a 10 and a 7. So instead of solving my problem this way, I'm going to solve it this way. 10 times 60, I know gets me 600. And 60 times 7, well, I know 6 times 7 is 42, so I add my 0 to get 420. Now I need to add it all together. I have 600 plus 420. Add that all up, and I'm left with my total of 1,020 seconds. Let's try one more. Etton's baby sister took a nap for 2 hours and 22 minutes yesterday, and 1 hour and 35 minutes today. How many more minutes did she sleep yesterday than today? It's asking me to convert to minutes. Take a second and pause the video, and when you're ready, press play. All right, so I know it's asking me to convert to minutes, but I have a lot of different things going on here. It's also asking me to find how many more minutes she slept on one day than the other, so I know I have to subtract somewhere too. The first step I'm going to follow here is I'm going to convert all of my times to minutes. That'll make it easier for me in the end. So I have 2 hours and 22 minutes, and then I also have 1 hour and 35 minutes. So I know that 2 hours, well, 1 hour is 60, so 2 hours must be 120. So 120 plus 22 would give me 142 minutes. So I know that yesterday the nap was 142 minutes. Today's nap would be 60 minutes plus 35 minutes. Putting that together, I know that would be 35 minutes. So in total, I have 142 minutes yesterday and 95 minutes today. It's asking for how many more minutes she slept yesterday than today, so my final step here is to subtract. When I do that, I'm left with the answer of 47 minutes. Today you're going to work on solving word story problems that involve converting units of time. Make sure you're really asking yourself, what is this question asking me to do before I solve? All right, let's get started.